Simba Singh was not an ordinary lion of the savannah. He was the most famously unstable, unpredictably hilarious, dramatically overreacting, mentally confused lion ever born in the history of African wildlife. Other lions roared to show power. Simba Singh roared because he forgot where he put his lunch. Other lions chased zebras. Simba once chased his own tail for 40 minutes straight because he thought it was a snake attacking him. His mane wasn't just a mane. It was a wild, chaotic, permanently wind-blown bush that made him look like he stuck his head inside a generator and came out more electrified than enlightened. Every animal in the savannah knew one rule: never try to understand Simba Singh. Understanding him was more dangerous than stepping on a sleeping crocodile wearing sunglasses. His brain worked like a broken radio: static, random songs, strange noises, and sudden philosophical questions about clouds and their purpose in life. One morning, as the golden sun rose over the savannah, Simba Singh woke up screaming, "Who stole my eyes?" before realizing his eyes were, in fact, inside his head, working perfectly fine. He blamed the wind for confusing him. He blamed the clouds for looking guilty. Then he blamed a tree for standing there suspiciously. Every day was chaos, but today was extra chaos because Simba had decided he was going to prove to everyone that he was the smartest animal in the savannah. Why today? Nobody knew. Not even Simba. He claimed he received a divine message in his dreams from a floating pineapple wearing a crown who told him, "Simba, my child, destiny awaits you." It was probably his stomach rumbling, but Simba believed it 100%. So he gathered the animals for a speech. The buffaloes rolled their eyes. The zebras considered leaving the savannah permanently. The giraffes pretended to be eating from trees so they wouldn't have to listen. Even the hyenas, who normally laughed at everything, were too exhausted to laugh at Simba's daily nonsense. He stood on a rock dramatically, chest puffed, mane flying in the wind like he was the hero of a jungle movie trailer. "Animals of the savannah," Simba roared, sounding proud, confused, and slightly constipated at the same time. "Today I declare myself." He paused. Everyone held their breath, not knowing whether to run, hide, or cry. The smartest being in Africa. A baby meerkat fainted. A warthog snorted in disbelief. A vulture fell off its branch laughing. "Simba," the old elephant Mzee said, "what exactly have you done that is smart?" Simba smirked confidently. "Yesterday I discovered water." The savannah went silent. "Simba," said Mzee, "water has existed for millions of years." "Not that water," Simba argued. "This one was hiding in a pond." "Because that's where water lives," Mzee replied. "Exactly," Simba said proudly. "I found its secret home." Before the elephant could respond, Simba flipped dramatically off the rock, landed on a bush, got stuck for a moment, fought the bush like it insulted his mother, and then emerged victorious. "I have a mission," Simba announced. "I will bring peace, wisdom, and intelligence to the savannah. Follow me." No one followed him. But Simba didn't notice because his brain was already sprinting faster than his legs. He charged across the savannah with the determination of a heroic idiot. His plan? Unknown. His logic? Non-existent. But his confidence? Unshakable. Simba Singh's first mission of intelligence began with him interrogating a banana tree. "Tell me your secrets," he demanded. The tree, being a tree, said nothing. "Silence is suspicious," Simba roared. Simba shook the tree until bananas fell on his head. He took this as the tree confessing under pressure. "Good," Simba said, rubbing his mane. "Cooperation is important." He marched forward, ready for his next challenge, until he encountered the biggest fear of his life, his own reflection in a water puddle. "Show yourself, imposter!" Simba shouted at his reflection. The reflection copied him. "Oh, you think you're funny?" he growled. The reflection growled back. Simba attacked the puddle, splashing water everywhere, screaming, "The fake lion is made of water! Everyone run!" The flamingos nearby stared at him with disappointment. But Simba was not done. He hadn't even started the real chaos yet. The real disaster began when Simba Singh decided to fix the savannah. His idea of fixing things was the problem. First, he told the zebras their stripes were unorganized. "Look at you," he said, walking around them like a fashion critic. Left, right, so confusing. You should try polka dots." The zebras looked ready to file a complaint. Then Simba tried to help the giraffes. "Your necks are too long," Simba said, nodding wisely. "I recommend bending." A giraffe bent too much, fell over, and the ground shook. "Perfect," Simba said proudly. The giraffe regretted everything. Next, Simba tried to teach the buffaloes meditation. Take deep breaths, Simba instructed. A buffalo snorted so hard it blew Simba's mane backwards. Excellent power, Simba said, thinking it was meditation energy. Finally, Simba attempted to teach the hyenas how to laugh properly. You all laugh like broken horns, Simba said. I will demonstrate real laughter. Simba inhaled deeply and produced a sound that can only be described as a donkey trying to sing opera. The hyenas burst into uncontrollable laughter, not because he was funny, but because his laugh sounded like it needed medical attention. But everything changed when Simba Singh discovered something he believed was the greatest treasure of the savannah: a shiny metal cooking pot a safari tourist dropped. Simba gasped dramatically. A magical helmet of power, he put it on his head. It got stuck instantly. Simba ran around blindly. I am now the Iron Lion, he screamed, voice echoing inside the pot. The animals watched as Simba, the newly self-appointed Iron Lion, ran into 3 trees, stepped on a porcupine, apologized to a rock, and then fell into a mud puddle. Stuck, dirty, and still wearing the pot, Simba shouted, "This is all part of my plan!" It wasn't. Eventually, the monkeys helped remove the pot by pulling it so hard Simba flew 10 meters across the plains and landed on a termite mound. Standing up proudly, covered in termites, Simba announced, "I have evolved." Moments later, he ran screaming again because the termites were crawling through his mane. But the biggest chaos of the day erupted when Simba Singh decided he would give the savannah its first ever motivational speech. He climbed the tallest termite mound he could find, after checking it for termites this time, and roared, "Animals of the savannah, today I, Simba Singh, the intellectual lion." A meerkat whispered, "Since when?" "Declare that we must all live in peace, harmony, and share our food." The lions gasped. The hyenas fainted. The vultures looked offended. "Share food?" roared the lionesses. "Of course," Simba said proudly. "Food tastes better when everyone eats together." A lioness asked, "And who gives the food?" Simba pointed at a zebra. "Him, obviously." The zebra nearly passed out, but before anyone could argue, the ground began to shake. A giant rhino, irritated by Simba's motivational yelling, snorted and charged toward the crowd. The animals screamed and scattered everywhere like popcorn jumping in hot oil. Simba panicked and ran in circles shouting, "The earth is angry! The earth is angry!" The rhino thundered past him, thankfully uninterested in dealing with Simba's brain problems. Simba trembled, heart racing, mane messy, and decided the rhino attack was a sign from the universe. He climbed back onto the rock and declared, "I understand now, my great destiny." The animals gathered again, reluctantly. "My mission," Simba said with dramatic pause, "is not to be the smartest lion." A sigh of relief spread across the savannah. "It is to be the king of weird." Everyone froze. Simba looked proud. "I will be the strangest, funniest, most unpredictable lion in the world." "You already are," murmured the elephant. Simba didn't hear him. He was too busy posing like a superhero. From that day onward, Simba Singh fully embraced his new title. If he saw butterflies, he chased them like they owed him money. If he saw clouds, he shouted at them to stop copying each other. If he saw his reflection, he complimented it by saying, "Handsome devil." He once declared war on a tumbleweed because it rolled past him without saying hello. Another day, he tried to roar at thunder to make it quieter. The thunder disagreed. Simba ran straight into a cave, screaming, "The sky is throwing anger!" He believed snakes were noodles that learned self-defense. He believed fireflies were stars that escaped the sky. He believed tortoises were rocks that developed legs to escape boredom. But despite all his madness, despite all his mental confusion, despite all his ridiculous theories that made every animal question reality, there was something beautiful about Simba Singh. He made the savannah laugh. He made life lighter. He made the days brighter. Even the grumpy buffalo chuckled sometimes. The hyenas adored him, not because he was funny, but because he was unintentionally the funniest creature alive. The lionesses accepted him, even if he was a full-time headache, because he meant well. And the elephant Mzee once admitted, "Simba might be crazy, but he is our crazy." And Simba? He continued living proudly as the king of weird. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the savannah gold, Simba Singh stood on his favorite rock and shouted into the horizon, "The world is my banana." No one knew what he meant. Not even Simba. But the savannah roared with laughter, and that was enough. Simba Singh, the mental lion, the legendary Chaos King, the wild-brained hero of madness, smiled proudly, knowing he had achieved his destiny, not of intelligence or wisdom, but of pure, unforgettable ridiculousness. And that, in the end, made him the most iconic lion the savannah had ever seen.